Hey everybody, happy 4th of July. Welcome to this episode of the Plant Strong Cycling Podcast. Today I have Jeremiah Sloan on. He just recently, last week actually, completed the Arkansas Graveler. And we're just going to jump straight into it because he gives all the details of what the event is. Here we go. Thank you for being in the studio today. You ready to jump into it?
Let's go. Let's talk bicycles.
Dude, so you just did the Arkansas Graveler.
Yes.
Real quick, for those who don't know, what is it?
Yeah, the Arkansas Graveler, inaugural year, so first year that they've done it. The event was 6 days long. It began at the University of Arkansas's campus at the football stadium there, and we rode across the state to Jonesboro, to A-State campus. So 6 days, like 360-ish miles?
That's what I saw.
Yep. And it was amazing. It was probably close to 60% gravel, but all, small rural roads, small communities, and just a great experience. There's about a little over 300 riders in total, and
were they all
awesome
from Arkansas?
Experience. No, 38 states.
That's insane.
I was blown away. Like people driving, flying, doing whatever they had to do to get to Fayetteville to check out Arkansas. 38 states represented.
Yeah. Did I see there were like a couple different countries represented too? Or was that just like by chance?
No, there definitely was. I met a guy from Germany. I met a couple from England. And so I don't know. I think they'd have to have some sort of connection, right? Like how do you discover the Arkansas Graveler if you're from, Europe? I don't know. I don't know. But very cool.
Well, something about it drew them to it, to fly here, to spend 6 days on the bicycle. And so here's the thing, half of that day though, and this is when you experienced it, I just saw from like the distance on social media. Half of the event though is not bicycling. It's enjoying the other amenities in Arkansas.
Yeah.
But what drew you to it? Because you're a big cycling dude.
Yeah, it was the bicycle.
Okay.
It wasn't the other amenities. I don't know, so what was the motivation, right? And that was a big question for me I wanted an answer to that. A big reason I signed up in general, because who is the audience that this is catered to? Like, obviously you have cycling enthusiasts, but then you're only on the bike half the day and you have all these other events going on. So I was interested to see who the crowd would, consist of. But for me personally, I wanted to ride 6 days in a row. I love my bicycle. But I also wanted to have that time like dedicated to other people who love riding, who love the natural state, who want to have an experience that is unique. And that's definitely what Arkansas Graveler was. For me also, it was somewhat of like a celebration of having been off the bicycle for a little while, worked my way back into riding shape and feeling healthy after 2 years of medical issues. So it was like a culmination event, or like a celebration of, I can be on the bicycle for 6 days in a row and feel good about it. So very cool.
Can I ask what the medical issues were?
Yeah, of course. Nothing off limits. You provided me coffee and it's in a Ted Lasso cup.
It
so
is.
We're besties now. You can ask me anything.
Yeah, you can't keep that cup though.
Oh, well, let's just kill this podcast.
Okay.
Now.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just buy
Game
you.
over.
Okay, go ahead.
No, so October of 2022 was out for a ride and was hit from behind by a car, and very serious injuries. Took me probably 6 months of physical therapy, occupational therapy to really get back to feeling 100% human again. Neck surgery, amnesia, nerve damage, like serious issues. So 6 months of being off the bicycle, actually more than that. So I got hit by the car in October of 2022. I think I bought a replacement bicycle in August of 23 and then rode just for a little bit, like went on like 2 or 3 rides in like September timeframe, and then was diagnosed with testicular cancer. And so I got to go through the recovery process again, had 4 rounds of chemotherapy, had surgery, and so didn't get back on the bicycle again until December, I guess. So like I had like 2 or 3 rides in 2023 in September, and then got to do a handful of rides in December once I figured out how to manage the chemotherapy. But really, yeah, I used to ride my bicycle every day. I would commute on it, and then moved back home to Arkansas. Got into mountain biking. I did some road riding with some guys here in Lawrence County.
Took all the KOMs on Strava.
There's not that many around here, right? Took the one briefly. Then someone probably stole it back from me. But anyway, yeah. So I was like 6 days of riding my bicycle. I haven't ridden a lot in the past 2 years. So like, let's make up for lost time. Hang out with the guys and put some miles down.
What was the biggest obstacle this year? Like I think Graveler specifically.
Gosh, yeah. So the Graveler, I think the Graveler surprised a lot of the participants in how tough it was. Combination of the elevation gain each day and the heat, and then just like the extra energy expenditure, setting up your camp every night and like just being outside in the elements. For me personally, so I did Hazel Valley Rally, gravel bike race back in April, and I realized that I was underprepared, right? That I needed to put some time in on the bicycle. So the riding for me was not a challenge because I was pretty intent or purposeful in preparing for the Graveler. I wanted to get on the bike every day and know that I was sore, but not so sore that I wouldn't have fun that day on the bike, right? I wanted every day to be fun. So I was prepared physically and mentally for the riding, maybe where some of the other participants were not. But for me, it's just that much time away from normal life. I mean, and that's what excited me about it. Like, who are these 300 people who are willing to take a week of vacation or a week away from friends and family to go explore Arkansas? Like, so that was honestly just like dedicating a week to being away from life just for the bicycle. Beyond that, if you were comfortable and familiar with your bike and, you're a weekend warrior, you're used to putting the miles in, then there wasn't really many other obstacles. There weren't really a lot of challenges. I would give huge kudos to the event coordinators. The logistics behind an event of this nature are super daunting, and I think they nailed it. Like, I think the food was amazing. The entertainment was great. They made adjustments on the fly to account for weather and heat. So, outside of just like blocking a week off of your calendar and dedicating that time to you and your bicycle, I don't think there were a lot of obstacles or challenges.
What was the gravel like? I mean, you said like a lot of elevation, but was it kind of like loose and broken up, sharp, scary, or like scary descents, or just define, like just paint a picture of what the gravel was like?
Right. So here in the Delta, I think we can call it the Delta. We're close enough. A lot of our gravel is loose farm roads, right? Like chat, not super compact.
You're digging yourself out with every pedal stroke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no not pedaling. Yeah, you're putting the power down the whole time. And the northwest part of the state is much different, right? It's hard packed clay. It's maybe some river rock. So a lot of the gravel that we rode was smooth and fast.
Oh,
I mean, it was really good. Now, there were some times in, foothills of the Ozarks or in the Boston Mountains where you would come across some pretty chunky stuff. One day, actually, it would have been day 4, I believe. We had come behind a road grader, and they had turned up some really sharp stuff, flint or whatever it was. And there was a section that was probably less than a mile long. It was a descent, and in that descent, I probably saw like 8 or 10 punctures.
Oh, really?
I had a puncture that day myself and had to put a couple plugs into the sidewall, which honestly it turned out to be kind of like a blessing in disguise because one, I got to upgrade my tires. I went from 40s to 42s.
Oh yeah,
and gained some comfort and some handling.
that's not that big of an upgrade in my mind, but most people I do respect that. I'm like the worst bike handler in the world.
Yeah, it felt like a big upgrade.
Yeah,
but then it also connected me with the bike mechanics. So there was 2 guys from Fat Tire Bike Shop in Bentonville who were providing free labor every night.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I took my bike over there. Ended up spending a couple hours with them that night turning wrenches, and just good dudes, and getting to see people bring their bikes in and tell their stories about what happened that day. Another way to connect with some new people. So I think it was a blessing, honestly, that I flatted that day. But yeah, no, the gravel in general, I mean, it was beautiful. The roads were tree canopied. That it was compact. A lot of it was fast rolling. Very rarely were there sections that were super chunky or technical.
Were there a lot of wrecks or like people who had to bail out of the whole ride, or was it pretty manageable?
Yeah. So the one of the guys, there's probably, I'm trying to think. I should have done the math before you put the mic in front of me. We had
Too late.
I know. Here we go. Public math. We had. I was going to use names: Trent, Kels, Doc, TJ, Richard.
These are all Jonesboro guys.
Derek, yeah, all Jonesboro guys. Eric. Who am I missing? There's 7. Me is 8. Yeah, so we had 8 that were, from this area that I knew well. There were others. From this area, but 8 that I ride with regularly. And one of those, he was going slow. He was going on a descent, but the back tire just slipped out from underneath him.
Oh, yeah.
And he ended up getting 10 stitches on his elbow.
Oh, no.
And, it was hot. Hydration was an issue, so then you lose some blood on top of that. So he had to sit out a day and just, replenish the fluids and let the swelling go down on the cut.
Hey, that's not that bad though. To only miss a day for that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was proud of him. Hopping back on the bicycle after cutting the arm open there. There was definitely some minor crashes throughout the week. I did hear of a rider who a dog ran out in front of and had some pretty serious injuries from that. But all in all, I think everyone played it safe. It wasn't a race. No one had anything to prove. So
dang, that was my next question: is how did you place?
Oh, well, I mean, I won.
Okay, I thought so.
Obviously,
That's why.
Obviously, yeah. Hey, no. So we're spoiler alert. We'll fast forward saying that I won. So the family made me a sash, is it a sash? Like a sachet, like a ribbon thing, like a
that goes
a
around you.
thing?
Yeah. Like birthday boy.
Yeah. Well, it said Gravel King.
Oh, really?
So
oh, nice.
I won the Gravel King.
Oh,
self-proclaimed.
Those poor other riders out there having to look at you.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
awesome.
aware I'm sure they're gonna do the event again. They have to.
Yeah.
And if I get to go, then I'm gonna have to wear my sash every day next year. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
defend my title.
Yeah. Some people have yellow jerseys. Some people have sashes.
The polka dots. Yeah. I got the Gravel King sash.
Yeah,
but no. So there weren't a lot of injuries. Now there were a lot of riders who elected to take a day off, and I think it was just being surprised again by the heat,
sure,
and the elevation. But why not? They were there to have a good time.
Exactly. If
your
your goal is to finish, too, and taking a day off is how you're going to guarantee to finish.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Have fun.
Yeah, because you're already in it for $1,000 for registration fees.
Yeah. So get your money's worth.
Yeah.
Right.
And okay, so I've talked to Jeremiah Bishop and the Vegan Cyclist a couple of times about doing an impossible ride in Arkansas.
Ooh.
And I'm like, if you guys do that, I'll take a week of vacation. I'll film. I'll do whatever you need me to for free. Just consider like an extra set of hands to do all this stuff. And every time I mention that, they're like, oh, we'd love to because Chef Bijou is there.
Wow.
And so he did some impossible routes with them. He fed them along the way.
Yeah.
And he's in Fayetteville now.
Right.
And I saw he was the chef for this.
Yes.
So tell me about the food.
Oof. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. So breakfast.
Because that alone is worth $1,000 in my mind.
Yeah.
Of
course.
Of
course. And
$100 per day for great food. Plus,
yeah.
Whatever.
Plus everything else. They had a lot of local distilleries out there doing mixed drinks. They had local breweries out there doing tap pours, and so. But no, the food was amazing, and you couldn't get enough of it, right? Because you're out on your bicycle all day long. The breakfast was kind of a set menu every morning, which is cool. Like, I'm a creature of habit. I could eat the same food, I think, forever.
Yep.
Especially if it's coming from Chef Bijou. Now the dinners were so solid. They how they cooked all that food, like, out there. They were outside on griddles. They're lugging all this food in. Again, like, logistics are hard, but he nailed it. So we had, like, sweet potatoes. We had pork tenderloins. We had shredded chicken. Just a lot of good food. They did have vegetarian and vegan options for folks as well. Like, they had it all.
Okay,
going
I'll
on.
go next year.
They had it all going on. Yeah. You'd be safe.
I'd be safe.
Yeah, plenty of food.
Yes. Well, okay. So just as far like as the rest of the amenities go, like, there, you guys can't, like, tent, like, you were in tents,
Right.
like your own tent, but they transported it for you.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, like, I guess there were, like, camper showers or something.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I didn't shower for a week.
Are you serious?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I was about to say, man, that, I don't know. Like, I would be so uncomfortable after 3 days of riding if I didn't have a shower every day.
I definitely
morning and night.
I definitely learned that at this point in life, I'm more bougie than I realized. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, where's the Hilton? Like, put me in the air conditioning. Okay, so amenities in general. So we stayed at a lot of facilities that are like ranches or like destination spots, like event centers, right? Bird's Adventure Center, for example. And so a lot of the facilities had dedicated, like, hard structured showers, right? Like, dedicated facilities. But then to supplement that, they brought in a lot of, mobile shower units, mobile restrooms, to try to cover for everyone. And then what we would do every morning is there's like a general soft start at 7 a.m. And so leading up to that, you would pack your tent up. They asked everyone to use kind of a standardized tote, and you could put 50 pounds in it. So you put all your stuff in your tote. In the morning, you would carry it to the back of a Penske move truck. And then in the afternoon, when you rolled into the next site, it would be laid out there on the ground for you. You grab it, you go find your campsite wherever you wanted to
That's
pitch your
awesome.
tent. Yeah. I mean, some of the facilities were nicer than others. Look, honestly, I only showered twice in 6 days.
That's what everybody was waiting to hear.
That's the hard facts, the truth. And those were probably two of the best showers of my life. One of them was at the Marshall Gymnasium, the high school gym. And so that was a nicer facility. It was a new gym. And then the other was after day one at Bird's Adventure Center. And there wasn't any hot water, but, like, I didn't want hot water. Mm-hmm. All right, we were all sweaty and hot from the road. But no, I would say overall the amenities were great. Know what you're getting yourself into, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I think one thing that maybe I was a little surprised by was I expected it to be maybe more remote, like less amenities.
Sure.
So I thought when we arrived, we'd just kind of like be in the middle of a field or a clearing, and the tote would be sitting on the ground, and I would just like pitch a tent right there, as opposed to like picking my tote up and maybe carrying it for 5 or 10 minutes to like a designated camping area. So, like, maybe if you want to simplify things, like, don't ask me to carry my 50-pound tote after riding my bike all day.
Yeah.
But that's small fries. Like,
yeah.
I think overall, between the vendors, Chef Bijou, like the extra facilities that they brought in, the dedicated facilities that were already on site, you had everything you could need or ask for. Wi-Fi, maybe better Wi-Fi.
Wow, you were getting really bougie.
I know,
these
right?
requests you have for them, that might be a little bit too tall of an order.
Yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere. Give me some better Wi-Fi.
All right. So, next question.
Mm. Wait. Let me ask you. So like that's the rundown
Uh-huh.
of the amenities. Do you feel like there's something that is a deal breaker for you, or like an amenity that you would have to have for this event to work? Like for me, the only thing that I really wanted was the comfort of those two bike mechanics. Those experts from Fat Tire,
Mm-hmm.
like knowing that they were there every night to keep me running the next day. Like that was really the only amenity that I needed checked.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm not mechanically inclined. Like I can work on a bike,
Sure,
but like
same here.
I wanted a pro to check my work.
Yeah.
So that was like the amenity that I required.
Yeah.
What would be yours?
Well, when Bobby asked me, he's like, "Hey, we're doing this thing." I think because he helped Scotty scout the Cave City area, so he's telling me all about it. He's like, "Would you be interested?" And I said, "If we were doing the 350 miles in 1 or 2 days, absolutely.
Yeah.
But 7 days of riding half the day, fishing, drinking beer, camping, like that none of that appeals to me at all. Like if I'm gonna risk my wife leaving me for me being gone for 7 days, I better be on the bicycle.
Yeah, for 7 days.
Yeah. And of course, being gone for 7 days is not appealing at all right now. But so that's what was the deal breakers. I don't like those other things as much as I like biking.
Yeah.
So
We talked about that some at night. Like, okay, there's probably a group of people here who are here just for the bicycles.
yeah.
There's probably a group of people who are here for like the Arkansas Game and Fish events and like the music and the food and like being in the middle of nowhere, Arkansas. Is it okay to try to like put those two things together and like meet in the middle of the road? Or should this event be like, hey, if you want to do like a music festival, like go to Bonnaroo or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to ride your bikes, like we're going to ride bikes. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it okay to kind of try to compromise on those two fronts? I don't know.
And I think Bobby is a perfect example of somebody who loves all that.
Yeah.
And so for him, it's a perfect event.
Yeah.
And for people who, if riding 50 miles every day would be like an absolute impossible
Chore,
ride,
right.
like I think it would be really appealing.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize Andrew Onerma didn't go. And I thought, and he's the bike manager at Horseshoe Canyon Ranch. And I thought because he was in all the promo stuff for it and he was hyping it up.
Yeah.
But when I talked with him on the podcast, he said that he's not attracted to rides and races that don't interest him. And I don't think he wasn't interested in this.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there was that element of that's a long time to give up for not a lot of cycling reward.
Yeah.
So for him, it could have been.
I can see that.
I don't want to put words in his mouth.
I can see that. Yeah.
But and so that kind of captures like where I'm coming from. Like I just want to bike.
Makes sense.
So
yeah.
And it sounds like you do too.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted every day to be challenging on the bike, and day 3 was definitely the big day. It was a day that a lot of people elected to sit out. And it was a hard day.
Was it because of what happened beforehand, or was it because of what the course looked like?
I think it's just the course itself. Yeah. Obviously there's like some accumulated fatigue setting in by day 3, but it was just the elevation and the gravel in general. On day 3 was probably a little looser, a little chunkier. But I was grateful for that hard day because like I kind of wanted the riding to be challenging throughout the week. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the big question, because this could actually help me decide if I was going to try to do it next year.
Okay. Well, I gotta be careful with my answer.
Be really careful with your answer. Did it feel like 6 days of just like group rides, like we did that one day when we did the Century ride?
Yeah.
With all the Jonesboro guys, or because you're building every day, did it feel like something massive and like really rewarding?
Yeah.
Or did it feel like a bunch of group rides day after day after day?
So,
and answer honestly. I can see in your eyes you want to lie to me.
How can I convince Bill to do this event next year?
Are you going to do it next year?
I would probably not.
Okay. Well then, now answer the question for me.
Yeah, I think that's the short answer. That's like I can drag this answer out for a long time, but that's the bottom line right there.
Yeah.
So for me, first of all, when it comes to cycling, like, and we've talked about this before, it's this unique blend of like solitude and isolation and just like you and the machine out on the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a beautiful thing. But then it's also a very social sport at the same time. Like you're putting hours in on the bike, and that's a lot of opportunity for conversation with new people, or with old buddies. And so like you get both of those things on the bike, and you may get both of those things on a single ride. And so going into each day, I had a group of people that I knew and that we hang out with regularly, but we all kind of agreed like, this is your own day and you need to get out of it what you want to get out of it. So like during any stretch of a given day, there might be like a group ride feel to it, but then we might leave an aid station and I'd be like, hey guys, I'm feeling good. Like we got 25 miles to go. I'm gonna push the pace a little bit. I'll see you back at the campsite. Right. And so there was a little bit of like both aspects or elements there, just depending on how you approach the day. Look, two of the guys that we ride with regularly are just studs. Like they're super strong on the bike, and they wanted to push the pace every day, and so they rode hard every day, or they rode what would be really hard for me every day, and that was what they wanted to get out of the event, and so that's cool. But I think like where I'm at on the bike and this really desire to explore what my own limits are, I didn't get as much of that out of the graveler as I would desire.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that really at the end of the day is like the question that we had earlier about this compromise of it being like a social event versus like a true like epic adventure, like a something that's really challenging physically, like Unbound XL, for example. Like I don't know that I loved that mixed bag.
Yep.
So if I want to find a week away from family and a week away from work in the future, because I am crazy about the bicycle, I'm gonna go do something crazy on the bicycle. And Graveler wasn't really geared to be that event, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's okay. It was still a great event, but I would find something different next time, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I expected to hear. And and I'm glad we didn't talk about this beforehand. Otherwise, I would have been way less curious in this conversation. I've been like, let's just get through this and talk about other stuff.
Yeah.
But
I think, did I just lose my Gravel King sash?
You did.
Yeah.
You did. You got to pass it off to somebody.
Yeah.
So, man, I think we've gotten through all these questions that I really had. We kind of got there through an organic way. So, can we switch gears real quick?
Yeah, bring it on.
Okay. You're the CEO of Cricket Electric.
True story.
So you obviously did something different at a younger age than I did to put yourself on that path of that. Anyways, how vast is your domain?
Ooh, my domain.
For Cricket Electric.
The fiefdom. The dominion. Okay. No, I look, I want to start by saying that, like what you just said. You said, like, I did something different at a young age to arrive at where I'm at today. Yeah, you have to prepare for opportunities, but I've been so blessed. Like, the timing, the doors that open at the right points in my life have just been amazing. And to walk into Cricket Electric as an engineer in 2016, and then to look up in 2022 and have the opportunity to lead that organization as CEO is mind-blowing. Like it's still surprises me every day, because what I felt when I arrived at Cricket Electric in 2016 was a culture that I want to be a part of. Like we have, between Empower and Cricket Electric, we're sitting pretty close to 150 employees, and it's still a job, right? Let's not fool ourselves. It's not me riding my bicycle every day. Like it's still work. But the way that these 150 people approach their day and want to do good for the members that we serve is so cool to be a part of. Yeah. And so I feel like my approach to everyday work is, how do I serve the employees who take care of the main mission of bringing value into our communities, into our members' lives. So we serve a little over 32,000 locations across primarily 8 counties in Northeast Arkansas. I think we technically have meters in 11 counties, but primarily 8. And it's right at 5,000 miles of line. And so we serve lots of this area.
Yeah.
And I was on a group ride it was a century ride, maybe a month prior to the Graveler, trying to make sure I was ready for, some distance. I wanted to see what it felt like to ride several days consecutively.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tried to ride like 20 miles Thursday, 20 miles Friday, and then we did a century ride on Saturday, and I let that like count as 2 days, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so we rode 100 miles that day, and so much of it was in Craighead Electric service territory.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing us deliver the essential services that people need in these really rural and remote areas just like gave me such a huge sense of pride for what our employees do every day, because that connectivity, those broadband solutions that we bring our members, that reliable and affordable electricity that like underpins everything in their daily lives,
Right.
it's just such a cool mission. And so where we reach is a lot of the gravel roads that you would want to ride your bicycle on. We reach way out into rural parts of these counties.
Well, so where's the best riding at then?
Ooh.
'Cause that's part of your job, is to go out there and check on your employees and scout new gravel around.
Yeah, got to go and inspect line.
Yeah,
and by
exactly.
Inspect line, I'm inspecting gravel. That's right. Okay, so
You're out there in the middle of the road, just rubbing your hand across it, feeling the gravel. What are you doing out there, Jeremiah? Oh, nothing.
Yeah, inspecting line.
Yep.
So I love all the gravel west of the Black River
Sure.
the most. But along Crowley's Ridge, you get up, north of Paragould, even south of Paragould a little bit. There's some really good gravel up there too, like around Leif and Oak Grove, and out of Lake Frierson State Park. There's some good stuff there, but it's the primo, the good gravel, is over here in our part of the area. So between Imboden and like Ravenden and Pocahontas, like there's some great gravel through there. And then that route that we rode between Imboden and Denton and down to Lynn, and that gravel was wonderful. I think that the roads around the Strawberry River out of Smithville, that is probably my favorite.
Yep.
Is everything out of Smithville that you can hit.
Yep. So I've not ridden those yet, but I've scouted them.
What are you doing?
I know.
Set
I
your
know.
game up.
I've
Over
never
at
had anybody.
Flatlander. You're over here in the Delta.
Yep.
Your zero elevation rides.
Which I'm winning at right now. No, I've never had anybody to ride with over there.
Yeah.
Because it's either here, because I live here, or Jonesboro, because that's where I have, some other routes.
Yeah.
Or it's all the way over in Cave City, where my buddies are in Batesville. So there's really nobody until I met you who knows that area.
Yeah.
But you also we have to drive our bikes over, and there's just there's more time to sacrifice. To make those happen.
Exactly.
So we just haven't done it yet, but we're going to.
And we need to convince the Jonesboro folks to join us
to go do all that stuff.
For the primo gravel over in this part of our area. Yeah.
That's right. We do have a project coming up though. That's just gonna be you and me.
Yeah. No one else invited.
Yeah, and I kind of don't want to talk about it because I'm super excited, but I don't want anybody to steal our idea.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you, Bill. I'm worried about whether or not I can trust your selection of roads. Like, are you a big enough Lawrence County expert that I can trust your route?
No. Okay. So for those who, here's what we're doing.
Yeah, we better back up. What is the adventure?
Well, okay. So I want to do an impossible ride where I'm showcasing, where we are showcasing the Lawrence County, but the outer rim. So when I chose those roads over there in areas I don't really know that well, it was because that follows the closest county line around the county while staying in the county.
Oh.
So the project is this: 150 miles riding around the rim of the county, and we have the GoPro footage, and we have a professional videographer and a drone operator, and we just get to showcase the beauty of the area while also trying to start at sunrise and finish before sunset.
Yeah.
So there's that challenge and element to it, and then just see how the story unfolds. You just never know what the day's going to bring when you do something like that.
Yeah.
So,
what you just described though, and like why I'm down for that project is when you drive an area in a car or you walk in an area, I think both of those perspectives don't quite allow you to appreciate like the roads, the area, the area and the communities that you're riding through. There's something special about seeing all that on a bicycle. Mm-hmm. And so like I grew up in Lawrence County, so getting to revisit a lot of these areas that were like frog gigging roads, or that I drove a tractor down to disc or to roll, or you know, in a 4-wheeler to go put in rice gates. Like I'm excited to see the remote areas of Lawrence County that I experienced as a teenager growing up. Like that's gonna be fun.
Now you're making me want to go start a
Very
plan for
nostalgic.
Izzard County. Like,
oh, yeah.
Because that's where I grew up, and I kind of want to do that now.
We'll make all the mistakes on the Lawrence County project.
That's right.
And then we'll go over to Izzard County and do it right.
That's right. So the way to make it happen though is to get a good sponsorship, so that way we can pay a good videographer. Because I'm going to edit for free and do all my stuff for free.
Yeah.
But we need a good videographer, and so that's where I'm like. And of course, I'm spilling all the beans right now. So that's where I don't want people to steal this idea and be like, yeah, we're going to do that in Jonesboro. And then all of a sudden, you know, they make a better video. They tell a better story. They're better cyclists.
Look, you're going to have all the sponsors just in your inbox after this podcast. I feel like
all 30 of our listeners.
I feel like with 20 of the 30 people listening to this podcast, like you're just going to blow up.
Yeah. Somebody's got to.
I'm going to be your claim to fame.
Yeah. You bet. Yeah. We're going to tag Craighead Electric in this. And you hope it just organically gets sent out in the email
like,
to all your employees.
Oops. Yeah.
Hey, everybody, listen to me bragging on y'all. Here. And send.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
But no, and when I was doing Unbound, honestly, I was looking forward to that like project, because that's still impossible, but less lonely.
Yeah.
So, and even if it's just because we have other people who are going to be there with us, like, you know, videoing and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Because there will be times, I mean, you probably didn't experience any loneliness on the Graveler, right?
No.
Or isolation.
No.
Yeah. And when I did the 200 Unbound, there were times when I got to experience that.
Yeah.
And here's not to like dive too deep into it, but after mile 80, the first year, the 200, I rode the rest of the ride with somebody. And like we talked the whole time, and like just, you know, complete life stories essentially. Yeah. And we meet other people along the way, and I'd be like, hey, no. We're friends, and I don't want to start over with you, like telling you anything. You know, we're not going to be riding with you that long. And then at Unbound this year, I ran into some people like toward like mile 250.
Oof.
And I was like, I don't like your vibes. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like I know you need to talk. I need to talk to somebody, but I don't want to talk to you. And it was because I was just so tired and like stressed. So you do have to take those breaks and whatnot, but also you have to pick up at the right time with those friendships and navigate them along the way.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what I've learned from the past 2 years, I guess. But
you know, I'm an awkward dude, so I love sitting in like awkward silence. But it's not awkward on the bicycle. Like I think you're riding.
Agreed, yeah.
Whether you're riding with strangers or like people you know intimately, like it's very easy for me to be like, all right, I'm not talking to you anymore now. Like let me just pedal.
Yeah.
Let me just sit in the flow of pedaling over and over and over again. Like get out of here. You know, and every cyclist handles that a little bit differently, but for me, so like I guess that was maybe from an experience perspective. I went into the Graveler with a mission to like meet as many people as I could, and to understand what motivated them to come to Arkansas. And so I was definitely more social on the bicycle last week than than I prefer to be normally. Like normally I don't really love talking a lot when I'm riding. But the Graveler was a different experience, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to access that like loneliness and isolation that I want to access at some point on an epic ride. And that was okay, because like I knew that wasn't why I was there.
Yeah.
And honestly, like best moments were hearing stories from people I just met, just like happened to roll up on, and they're like, yeah, I just got a new job, or like I just moved to a new state, and this ride is like allowing me to explore what my future looks like. Or there was a lot of folks there who were recently retired, and they're like,
cool.
I'm entering this new phase of my life. Like I want retirement to be a celebration. Like I want to live. I want to experience new things. And so like, why not sign up for the Graveler?
That's a really great life plan, by the way.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of looking forward to that, actually. That happen now.
We were joking over dinner on the Graveler. I was joking with Eric Birch, and we have 4 kids. Blythe and I have 4 boys, and we live in like a 1,600 square foot home. And so there's like every space is a shared space, right? And Eric's like, well, let's, just upgrade, time for some more square footage. Come on over to Jonesboro. And I'm like, no, I think instead I'm going to sell the house in Portia and buy like 4 adventure vans. And we're just going to like live in adventure vans for the rest of our lives. That's maybe too soon for that, but that's like the grand retirement scheme right there.
How old's your youngest kid?
My youngest is 4.
Yeah, you should wait like 15 years.
Yeah, just one adventure van.
Can you imagine? That's okay.
Yeah. No,
you can actually, because you have 4 kids. I have 1, and yeah.
Oh man,
I've heard 1 is 1 and 2 is 10 with kids. So
that's pretty much it. And it just all goes chaotic when you throw another one in the mix. Yeah.
Yeah, but my daughter's at swim camp right now. Happy 4th of July, everybody. My daughter's at swim camp right now, and I heard on a podcast yesterday that this famous actor said, kids are the best gift that you can give to yourself. And I just thought, man, I just want to go grab my daughter and hug her right now. Like, that's such a good line. Like, it's the best gift you can give to yourself. So, anyways, I'm sure y'all have a lot of fun in that 1,600-foot square house.
We had so much fun.
Yeah.
I bet
your wife loves
it. Lots of fights, but lots of fun too.
5 little boys running around all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the worst of them all. The instigator.
Did I tell you that your wife? I ran into your wife at the planetarium, like on that school field trip.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, you ride bikes with my husband?" And I was going to be like, "There's a slim chance that's true. Who's your husband?"
Yeah.
And she said Jeremiah, and I was like,
"Oh,
yeah, I do."
Yeah. That's a great introduction line.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. So did not expect to meet her that day. So, but, man, there was one. Oh yeah, we need to go ride. It's the 4th of July.
Oh yeah.
And we're supposed to be at Adam Staples' house pretty soon. So
time to sign off.
We should wrap this up, and we're going to ride our gravel bikes, and Adam's going to ride his road bike, and we're still going to destroy him, I think.
Ooh.
So This episode is brought to you by Adam Staples of State Farm, where you can get all your insurance. And if you need to buy a home, Eric Birch out of Jonesboro.
There you go. So now we have our sponsors for our project.
Yep. We need $2,500.
Or that line's getting
per
edited
person.
out.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold that line hostage.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Anyways, man, dude, I'm glad you had a good time at the Graveler, and I'm glad to hear you say what you did, because I don't feel like I missed out as bad anymore. Even though it sounds like it was a great time and like a perfect event for most people. And who knows? Next year, it might be like the right time for me to do it.
Yeah.
And you might be back in it, or we might be riding it about together. Who knows what 2025 holds.
That's it. All of the above.
Yep. Or we might be YouTube famous at that point.
Yeah.
We
don't need bicycles at that point.
We should really cut this podcast off before we get too
gets too deep.
Yeah.
Bill, thank you.
Hey,
Enjoyed
thanks,
it.
man. Yeah. Let's go
ride.
crush some miles.